Aqua, air mineral dalam kemasan pertama di Indonesia. Bersama Indonesia selama lebih dari 50 tahun, berbagi kemurnian melalui 20 pabrik di seluruh Indonesia. Pilihan terpercaya jutaan keluarga Indonesia. Aqua selalu ada menemani perjalanan Indonesia dalam suka dan duka. Saat momen bahagia, momen penting, momen kebersamaan, momen membanggakan, dan saat kita semua butuh saling menguatkan. Aqua terus ada bersama Indonesia. Untuk bangkit bersama, bergerak maju menuju kebaikan. Menyentuh banyak kehidupan. Mitra untuk lebih dari 15.000 agen Aqua Home Service.
Saya menjalankan usaha ini tidak sendirian. Saya dan suami tercinta bekerja sama di dalam usaha ini. Kami mulai nyebar brosur ke rumah-rumah dan selalu memperbaiki pelayanan kami ke konsumen. Alhamdulillah, yang saya banggakan dari hasil usaha ini, saya bisa menyekolahkan adik-adik dan membantu memperbaiki perekonomian keluarga.
Tempat berkarya lebih dari 10.500 talenta bangsa. Memajukan 2 juta pedagang dan toko lokal.
Saya tulang punggung bagi tulang punggung lainnya. Mereka dan saya menjadi tulang punggung yang mengalirkan kebaikan dari Indonesia.
Usaha nggak sekedar cari untung, tapi juga cari berkah dengan memberikan kemudahan bagi tetangga di sekitar kita juga.
Adalah tanggung jawab kami untuk memastikan Aqua terus mendukung kebaikan dan keberlanjutan untuk Indonesia.
Aqua percaya air yang murni datang dari gunung terlindungi yang dipilih dengan seksama. Jauh dari tempat yang mudah tercemar tanpa proses rekayasa. Aqua disaring bertahun-tahun oleh lapisan bebatuan, menjadikannya kaya akan mineral alami yang seimbang. Sehingga Aqua terasa dingin tanpa didinginkan. Tidak semua air itu Aqua. Aqua 100% murni.
Lahirnya merek Aqua.
Before we start, we request all participants to kindly sit in the middle row. Thank you. Once again, we kindly remind all participants to kindly sit in the middle. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the grand opening and international seminar of the 25th Annual ISEEC 2025.
We are truly delighted to have you here at Balai Sidang Universitas Indonesia as we embark on an inspiring journey to explore this year theme. From breakdown to breakthrough, fixing what's broken with system thinking.
Before we begin, please allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Olivia Kalista and I'm here with
Hariyanto, and will be the master of ceremony for the grand opening and international seminar of the 25th Annual ISEEC 2025.
But before we move on, to keep your energy up throughout the day, don't forget to stay hydrated with Aqua, because great ideas flow better when you do.
ISEEC, or Industrial System and Engineering Competition, is the biggest annual event proudly organized by the Industrial Engineering Department, Universitas Indonesia.
Yes, indeed. Today's seminar will feature outstanding speakers from various sectors who will share valuable insights on how systems thinking transforms our world. Before we begin, allow us to acknowledge and extend our warmest welcome to our honorable guests and distinguished participants present here today.
We would like to especially welcome the head of Industrial Engineering Department, Universitas Indonesia, Mr. Komarudin ST MM PhD.
The head of IMTI FTUI 2025, Reina Amanda Maheswari. The project officer of ISEEC 2025, Irdina Nafisa Fawaz.
And of course, our warmest welcome to our keynote speaker and all distinguished speakers who will be sharing their insight during today's seminar.
We'd like to welcome all of you who've joined us today. Thank you for being here and taking part in ISEEC 2025. And of course, we'd also like to thank the amazing committee team for all of their dedication and hard work in preparing today's event.
Today's event is proudly supported by Aqua, PT Tirta Investama, Indonesia's leading bottled water company since 1973. Thank you, Aqua, for your commitment to quality, sustainability, and your valuable support in making today's seminar possible.
This event is also supported by PT Serasi Logistik, part of Astra Group, providing integrated and technology-driven logistic solutions. We truly appreciate Celoc's partnership and contribution to the success of today's seminar.
We will also like to thank the Silk at Dago Boutique Hotel, Bandung, a stylish and welcoming boutique hotel known for its elegant design and warm hospitality, for the kind collaborating in supporting this event.
Lastly, our appreciation goes to our community partner, ISEEC, a global youth-led organization empowering young people through leadership and cross-cultural experiences. Thank you for being part of this journey and helping us reach a wider audience. Now, before we begin today's seminar, let us take a moment to honor our nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of Indonesia Raya, the national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia.
Thank you. You now may be seated. Next, before we proceed to the next agenda, let us first watch a short occupational health, safety, and environment video presentation from Balai Sidang Universitas Indonesia and an introductory teaser of ISEEC 2025.
Please direct your attention to the screen.
While preparing for the video, take a sip of aqua to keep you refreshed.
Selamat datang di Universitas Indonesia.
Welcome to Universitas Indonesia.
Sesuai dengan persyaratan K3 yang berlaku di UI, kami dari UPT Keselamatan, Kesehatan Kerja, dan Lingkungan akan menyampaikan induksi keselamatan.
According to safety rules and regulations in Universitas Indonesia, we are Occupational Health, Safety, and Environment Unit would like to deliver safety induction.
Saat ini kita sedang berada di Balai Sidang Universitas Indonesia.
Now we are in Balai Sidang Universitas Indonesia.
Pada ruangan ini terdapat dua pintu utama yang terletak di bagian depan pada sisi kiri dan sisi kanan.
There are two main doors in the front, each on the left side and the right side.
Serta terdapat dua pintu darurat di bagian belakang pada sisi kiri dan sisi kanan.
And there are two emergency exits in the back, each on the left side and the right side.
Gunakan dua pintu utama sebagai jalur evakuasi bagi Anda yang duduk di bagian depan.
Please use the main doors as evacuation routes for those who sit in the front.
Dan gunakan dua pintu darurat sebagai jalur evakuasi bagi Anda yang duduk di bagian belakang.
And please use the emergency exits for those who sit in the back.
Bila terjadi kebakaran, tetap tenang dan jangan panik. Jika Anda mampu, padamkan api dengan menggunakan apar yang berada di dalam ruangan.
In case of fire situation, please be calm and do not panic. There are fire extinguishers in this room, each on the left side and the right side.
Segera lakukan evakuasi dan petugas akan memandu Anda ke titik berkumpul. Titik berkumpul berada di lapangan rotunda.
The assembly point is in front of this building.
Jika terjadi gempa bumi, Anda dimohon untuk tetap tenang dan jangan panik. Segera merunduk, merapat ke dinding, hindari area kaca dan benda yang menggantung serta lindungi kepala Anda.
In case of earthquake, please stay calm and do not panic. Drop down, find the closest safe location. Stay away from window glass and hanging object and always protect your head.
Selalu berhati-hati saat melangkah dan gunakan pegangan tangga saat menaiki dan menuruni tangga.
Mind your step. And please use the handrails when necessary. According to Rector Decree, Universitas Indonesia is a smoke-free area.
Jagalah selalu kebersihan sekitar Anda dan buanglah sampah pada tempat yang telah disediakan.
Keep the environment nice and clean, and please do not litter.
Terima kasih atas perhatian Anda dan selamat melanjutkan aktivitas.
Thanks for your attention and have a good day.
Our world is more connected than ever before. Every product, every service, every step, powered by the intricate web we call the supply chain. But what happens when that chain breaks? When disruption becomes the new normal? Supply chains are being challenged by global crises, climate change, inequality, and shifting markets. We've seen what fragility looks like. But through challenge comes transformation. Resilience isn't built on going back. It's built on moving forward with innovation. Resilience is not just about surviving. It's about designing systems that thrive, systems that are adaptive, inclusive, and sustainable. We're designing for equity, for climate responsibility, for economic empowerment, and for communities that have long been left out. The future of supply chains is not just digital. It is human. It is inclusive. It is sustainable. Are we ready to embrace the change?
Again, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing sponsor, Aqua from PT Tirta Investama, PT Serasi Logistik by Astra, and the Silk at Dago Boutique Hotel. We are now moving on to the opening remarks. First, let us warmly welcome the head of Industrial Engineering Department, Universitas Indonesia, to deliver his speech.
Please give a big round of applause to Mr. Komarudin.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good morning. Thank you very much for coming to the opening of the International Seminar of Industrial and System Engineering Competitions. This is the 25th of the editions. I remember when I was young, maybe young as the students now, I also participate in this event. And I welcome also the participants from other universities. Hope you will have a good time and very good competition in our university. And I also want to welcome our honorable guests. We have here actually my seniors also. Pak Aho, I also call it Pak Aho, it's Pak Hariyanto Salim. Thank you very much for coming. And also my head of laboratory head, Prof. Akhmad Hiyadatno, thank you. And also Bu Devy and Bu Maria and Bu Andini, thank you for taking your time to coming and to share your valuable insight for our students. This is annual event, and we start usually with international seminar, and we hope that this event will have not only competition, but more of connection, coordination, and good work in the futures. Yeah, remember that the students is your time is not only limited in your study in your university. You still have time in your working space. Yeah. And you will also meet each other in the future. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Komar, for your insightful opening.
Now, we would like to invite the head of IMTFTUI 2025 to share her remarks. Please welcome Reina Amanda Maheswari.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone, and good morning for all participant judges and also my professor and my lecturers from Industrial Engineering. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming here, for doing this event, because this event for us is like our forever and our respectful event. This event is help us to understand, and today's agenda, also today's mission, is for us future engineer to understand how and to build our professional career, also to teach us to be a better future engineer, to understand how systems work, how to understand the engineer work, and also to become such as future engineer with resilience and adaptive to tackle global challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed the event for today, and I hope you can do better for the future and for understanding green sustainability and for tackle all the problems in the future of engineering world. Thank you and happy for today.
Thank you so much, Karina, for the encouraging message.
Next, we would like to invite the project officer of ISEEC 2025, Yheanne Nafisa Fawaz, to deliver her speech and share a few words with us.
Please give a warm round of applause.
Okay, hello everyone and good morning. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all of you at the grand opening and international seminar, the 25th Annual ISEEC 2025. It's truly an honor to see this room filled with passionate and inspiring individuals and who share the same enthusiasm for collaboration, innovation, and learning. Allow me, Yheanne Nafisa Fawaz, standing here to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished speakers, to our Head of Industrial Engineering Department, Mr. Komar, to our Head of IMTI 2025, Reina, to our beloved steering committee, Cella, Andi, and Wawa, and to my partner, Vila. Lastly, with the utmost respect, thank you to all participants and committees who have poured their effort and dedication into making this event possible. Today's international seminar is more than just a place to learn and to listen. It's a moment for us to open our minds to new perspective, to challenge the way we think, and to be inspired by the ideas across disciplines and borders. Once again, thank you for being here and for sharing this meaningful moment for us. May this event not only broaden our knowledge, but also spark the drive within us to keep growing, creating, and contributing together. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our project officer of ISEEC 2025 for the meaningful remarks and the dedication behind this year's event.
And talking about dedication, we also want to give a big thanks to you, to our amazing sponsor, Aqua, for always being there to support ISEEC and help us make this event happen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the highlight of this morning's session.
To officially mark the beginning of this year ISEEC, we kindly invite Ms. Yheanne Nafisa Fawaz as the project officer of ISEEC 2025, along with Mr. Komarudin as head of Industrial Engineering Department.
And also Ms. Reina, the head of IMTI FTUI 2025, to come forward and strike the gong together, symbolizing the official grand opening and international seminar of the 25th Annual ISEEC 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all witness together the official opening of ISEEC 2025. With that, the 25th Annual ISEEC International Seminar 2025 is now officially open. Congratulations once again to everyone involved in making this event possible.
We will continue with our next session, the keynote speech right after this. But before that, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors, Aqua from PT Tirta Investama, PT Serasi Logistik by Asra, and the seat at Dago Boutique Hotel.
This year, our keynote speaker is Mr. Hariyanto Salim, co-founder of PT Rekayasa Sistem Industri, director of PT API International Indonesia, and part-time lecturer at Universitas Indonesia.
He will open today's seminar with his keynote speech, sharing valuable insight and experiences from his journey in the industry.
To Mr. Hariyanto, the stage is yours.
Selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity, Pak Akhmad, Pak Komar, Bu Devy, Bu Maria, Bu Andini, and every participants in this room. Allow me to quickly introduce myself. My name is Hariyanto Salim. As has been explained by the committee, I am requested to deliver a keynote speech talking about systems thinking, and the theme of the event today is from breakdown to breakthrough. I'm gonna deliver a very general explanations of what I think systems thinking is about. It's gonna be based on my experience as well as entrepreneurs, and try to make it as light as possible, because I believe the next speakers will deliver a more deep, comprehensive explanations of what systems thinkings are. Okay? So, next please. Real quick about me, I'm a father. I'm a student of life. I've been studying since I was born and up till now. I'm also teaching. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been establishing several companies. PT API International Indonesia is my latest ventures, and then Rekayasa Sistem Industries, Fleetify, technological companies, software companies based in the cloud. We provide solutions for fleet maintenance systems. I also helped the government when I was doing the intermediations in business innovation centers. I studied back in 1994 from University of Indonesia Engineering School. I went to Georgia Tech, and after that I worked in Career Transicold before the 9/11 event. So that's a little bit about me. Next, please. So I was requested to explain things about systems thinking. I did a quick look into the web, and when you do search in Google, this comes up. It's a Gemini AI overview of what systems thinkings are. So, systems thinking is a holistic approach to understanding complexity. And it views the world or problems or anything as a system of interconnected parts rather than isolated elements. We see things sometimes very complex, and for us to really understand the things, we try to separate them one by one, dissect them one by one, trying to understand the elements and isolate that. This is the old way of trying to understand complexity and what's going on. And when we do that, we actually lost the interconnections of systems. Well, the systems thinking is another approach to understand complexity. It sees things as a whole. It really looks for the interrelationship and try to identify feedback and loops. And from the interactions, from the feedback loops, we come up with an understanding, combining all the knowledge, and we provide a synthesis of solutions or understanding. Next, please. Next, please. Okay. And why systems thinking? Well, it helps us improves decision makings, uncover root causes of problems, and anticipates long-term consequences and enables adaptive changes. There are several types of systems mappings. We have the behaviors over time graphs and the iceberg models, causal loop diagrams, and connected circles. So this is what I got from the Gemini AI in the Google search about systems thinking. It's rather vague, I know. So I'm trying to explain this based on my experience as an entrepreneur. Okay? Next, please. I'm an entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen, and when I develop new businesses, new companies, I have to have a helicopter view. I have to be able to see the business as a holistic. My latest ventures is to develop a new spare parts companies producing lamps for cars. Did anybody know the newest car from Mitsubishi, Destinator? You use a Destinator? Okay, we produce some of the lamps inside the car. The ambient lamps on the door, we produce it locally in Indonesia now. The overhead console lamp, we call it map lamps because the old ways, the old times, we use that lamp to turn it on and we look the maps using that lamp. It's called map lamp. We produce the lamp in the middle, room lamps, and also the personal lamps if you have a sunroof cars. If you have a sunroof in the middle, you cannot put a lamp. You have to make a small lamp on the hand grips. It's called the personal lamps. We produce that. On the back side of the car, you have a big brake lights. We do not produce that. Those are Japanese. We make the small lamps on the sports, the spoilers. It's called the high mount stop lamp. We produce that locally in Indonesia. When we want to start the company, it's actually rather funny. I went to my school, Georgia Tech, back in year 1999. I have a colleague from Thailand, and this colleague from Thailand actually called me back in 2012, 2013. He asked, hey, can you help me sell spare parts? I was like, hey, why do I want to sell spare parts? Yeah, sell spare parts. I was like, okay, you're joking, but okay. So I kind of like dismissed the idea. And then in 2015, he called me again, hey, I'm serious, let's start something. Okay, so I make time, I make plan. In 2017, I decided I go to Thailand. My friend actually is a Thai person, so I went to the country, to Thailand, and meet him. And then I saw he has several factories producing lamps. Wow, interesting, big. So he said, hey, I need somebody to help establish a company in Indonesia to sell lamps. I was like, you serious? Yes, okay. Okay, then I will try. I will try to help you. The first thing I noticed that in the automotive industries is a very tough business. It's a very tough industries. And I do not have the slightest experience in the automotive industries. How can I help my friend? So the first thing I do, I promise him, okay, I will find you another company who has already experience in Indonesia and have a joint venture. Because I have the responsibility to make sure that the business works and I can deliver and actually develop the business afterwards. So relying on myself and the experience, I will not be successful. I also learned that the Thai company is not a typical. I have kind of visibility of the whole business and understanding that I established the company, and then we started in 2020. Okay? And after that, I have to manage the 5 M's in the business. Can you tell me what are the 5 M's? Man? What? Okay. Money, number 1. Okay. And then money. Money, man's methods, materials, and then machines. In 2019, very important things. COVID. Would you start a business during a COVID era? No. But I calculated, and all my friends calculated, after the COVID, the market will emerge. It's a good timing actually when your factory is established and ready to start and grow the business afterwards. And now we are having problems. The US and the China having a fight against each other. If you have not known this, try to Google and search for next barrier. We will have a chip shortage and develop businesses in the future. And the systems thinkings will definitely help you. That's all from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. And I will return this to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hariyanto Salim, for such an inspiring keynote that was truly a great way to start today's seminar. We will now proceed to our seminar session, which will be guided by our moderator.
Before that, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors, Aqua from PT Tirta Investama and PT Serasi Logistik by Astra Indonesia.
We will also like to thank ISEEC as our community partner. Thank you for your trust and contribution in making ISEEC 2025 a success.
Before we begin, allow us to introduce our moderator, a remarkable young leader who has made significant contributions in youth development, education, and social empowerment.
She is the founder of Self-Grow Indonesia, a national self-development organization focusing on literacy. She was recognized as the National Youth Achievement Awardee in Leadership by the Ministry of Youth and Sport Affairs Kemenpora RI in 2024. The outstanding student in social and environmental category at the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Indonesia 2024, author of 56 books, and also lab assistant of System Engineering Modeling and Simulation.
Please welcome our moderator for today's seminar, Ms. Fayana Alisha Devyani.
Okay, thank you so much, MC. Good morning, everyone. Okay, wonderful day for all of us. It's my genuine pleasure to extend a warm welcome to the grand opening international seminar of 25th Annual ISEEC 2025. My name is Fayana, and it's a pleasure to be your moderator for today's session. Before we dive into our seminar, I just want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to our amazing speakers for today and the dedicated ISEEC 2025 committee who poured their energy into making this event happen. And of course, thank you for all of you who taking the time to join us today. The success of any seminars lies in the quality of its speakers, and we're fortunate to have 3 outstanding speakers with us today. Let me briefly introduce them. First of all, our first speaker is my professor, Prof. Akhmad Hiyadatno, Professor and Head of the System Engineering Modeling and Simulation Laboratory, Universitas Indonesia. He specialized in technology policy, energy transition, and system modeling. Thank you for coming, Prof. Akhmad. Next, we have Ms. Devy Yheanne. Ms. Devy is an independent consultant and guest lecturer in communication and public affairs with over 2 decades of experience. Ms. Devy has led corporate communication and public affairs initiative in prominent global company. Thank you for coming, Ms. Devy. And also, last but not least, our third speaker is Ms. Maria Trifanny Francisca. Ms. Maria, currently serving as Head of Sustainability at Maybank. She is an expert in sustainability strategy and organizational transformation in the banking industry. Thank you for coming, Ms. Maria. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these 3 speakers will bring a wealth of knowledge, and we're excited to hear their insights for today. And without further ado, let's move to the first presentation. Please join me in welcoming Prof. Akhmad Hiyadatno to the stage, and please give a warm round of applause.
So, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me adjust this. Welcome to Universitas Indonesia for you who's now coming from Universitas Indonesia, and congratulations to the Committee of ISEEC for the 25th times annual Industrial Engineering Competition. Let's begin. My job is actually try to introduce you to the concept of systems thinking in terms of the academically perspective. Even though I might not talk about education, but let's talk about systems thinking. So the first question that I would like to ask you, if you are thinking right now. Are you thinking right now? Are you sure? How do you know that you're not daydreaming, that I'm real in front of you, I'm not AI generated or something? A disclaimer, I did also ask ChatGPT on how to refine this material. So that's my disclaimer for you, because you are all, some of you are my students and you don't want to see me cheating using AI. So basically, how do you know you're thinking? Because if you are saying yes or try to formulate the questions from my questions, that means you are thinking. So thinking in the very simple sense is try to answer a questions. But what questions should we ask? So in systems thinking, it's basically, next slide please, we ask a process of answering a structured questioning, of trying to understand a system perspective of a problem. As a process, it requires a trigger. The trigger is the questions. The other thing about process, as industrial engineering, you are responsible for a process, which means you will be able to improve your process. So take it out in your mind that you cannot change the way you're thinking, because the way we think can actually change by modifying the process of thinking. Sometimes, in several cultures, we are required to answer questions. We need to answer questions. For example, we have a saying called, jangan lupa bertanya, nanti tersesat di jalan. Don't afraid to ask, and then you might get lost. But in several other cultures, this might not be the case. Especially if you go to Europe. My friends go to Europe, and because of he's Indonesian or she's Indonesian, she asks an officer, asking, I want to go to this area. Which bus should I take? And the officer just saying, can you read? Because he sit in front of an information board saying that this is, can you read? But in Indonesia, we try to do that. Next, please. So we are going to talk about systems thinking. Yeah, from your material, from the theme of this ISEEC is that from breakdown to breakthrough, fixing what's broken with systems thinking. Next, please. So when we face a problem, usually the trigger of a process is because you have a problem. So we usually conduct what we call an analysis. But do you know what analysis is? When some papers or some quiz or some exams ask you to do an analysis, what is your answer? Are you just saying blah, 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 and describing something? No, because analysis, do you have to conclude something? What is the difference in quiz when you say, give me an analysis, give me a solution, give me a conclusion, give me a breakdown, or give me a something? Do you know the difference between all of them? You need to be understood that each of that assignment is different. An analysis is actually doesn't have to come up with a conclusion because it comes from the Greek word called analyin, which means you to break down. So usually this is what we do in terms of problem solving. We have a problem, we breaking down into several of the components that you have. Pak Ahoy already mentioned about 5 M's, yeah, man, money, machine, material, and other. So you break down every problem that you have in terms of industrial engineering, you break down into man, money, machine, material, methods, and see which one is broken. Then you assume that if you fixed one that is broken, then you fix the whole problem. That's the old ways of problem solving. Why? Because sometimes it doesn't solve the problem. Is it enough to just rely on breakdown? So we're not talking about breakdown also as a breakdown of something that is a problem, but how do you break down an analysis? So is it enough to just break down it? No, because sometimes the problems keep returning, or the solution create another problem. This is because in today's world, the problem has increased its complexity. It has more interdependency and uncertainty dimensions of it. So this is something that you already face nowadays as industrial engineering. Let me give you several examples of the problems that actually create what we call a systemic problem. Next, please. So as you can see, this is a new complex systemic problems for industrial and system engineers face. One, let's say about sustainability. We're going to have an excellent speaker on sustainability in forward. As you already know about digital transformation and Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, in the essence, is about connectivity, because usually machines cannot talk to each other, but now they can talk to each other through digitalization. So Industry 4.0 is about complexity because of connection. Then we have a global supply chain resilience, as you already saw in the video that you already have, and other issues that industrial engineering must face. On the right side, why it's complex, you can see so many components that I highlighted there, showing that it's already coming into what we call a system problem. With the definition, a simple definition of system is a set of connected parts working together for a purpose. So if you want to digest this kind of problem, can you rely on analysis? Please continue, next slide. So you cannot just rely on analysis, because the analysis with the simple term is breaking down problem into component, also not considered what we call connection. Connections is much more difficult to solve, because if you have more than 4 components, you have more connections. And for example, if you only have 3 components, you only have 3 connections. But if you have 4 components, you have 6 connections. If you have 5 components, you might get more than just 5 components. So understanding connections is the second part that you need to consider in systems analysis. The second one is considering the context. You need to understand that the system exists in that moment. It's not a problem for you today to not wearing masks, for example. But 5 years ago, nobody in the world would not try to get out without a mask. So understanding this context is also important, because it can change your perspective. And combining this, looking at components, looking at the process, look at the connections, and look at the context, is the way you need to answer yourself, to question yourself. Next, please. So we need to change our thinking from simple thinking to a structured thinking. From structured thinking to look at problems as a system. So what should we do? We ask a structured thinking of system thinking by trying to understand the process, the component, the connections, and also the context. Because this is a lot simpler for you to understand regarding what is system thinking, comparing what this traditional system thinking is actually about. The traditional system thinking first is try to highlight what is system thinking and what is not system thinking. For example, if you don't have helicopter view, then you don't have system thinking. If you're not talking about process, you're not talking about system. So just highlighting the two of them. The other aspect is try to combine different kind of thinking. Logical thinking, critical thinking, and then like forest thinking, detailed thinking, etc., or quantitative thinking. So system thinking in this sense would make it easier for you to translate it into your own problem-solving mechanism. Next, please. So, but we must also not forget, I've talked about component, connections, or context as a process. Remember, industrial engineering looks at problems behind the problems. We call it a process-based thinking. This is the classical approach of system thinking. So if you want to know, if you want to start why industrial engineering has started already about system thinking, because you understood that whenever you want to see something, you always need to see behind the output, which is the process. Similar like you are in a play, the customer only look at the play, the theater or something. But behind it, there is so many process of preparing, rehearsing, other logistics things that you need to consider, which is actually your job as industrial engineering. So that's why all of your curriculum is actually try to develop the backside of anything. Next, please. So this is what actually system thinking in our perspective, in University of Indonesia perspective. You have to ask about component, that's the analysis part. You have to talk about the process. What is the process? You have to ask about it. You ask about connections. You also have asked about what is the context of that connections. Rumi always said that you think because you understand one, you must also understand two, because two is made by one and one. But you always forget that you cannot forget that you also must understand n. Next, please. So in industrial engineering, we don't solve problems by just doing problem solving. We ask better questions. System thinking is how to ask those questions when problems involve so many process, components, connections, and contexts over time. Next, please. So how do we apply system thinking? We go to the very simplest part. So let's talk about this story that I always talk about this in the class that I'm talking about, and I'm teaching. First, make sure you have the right problem. Remember Nasruddin? Nasruddin is a very common story used by so many people, try to instill wisdom in us, because it's much easier to talk about something using stories. One night, a friend of Nasruddin found him anxiously searching for something under the bright sunlight. "My dear friend, what are you looking for? Maybe I can help." Nasruddin replied, "I lost my wallet. Could you help me find it?" The friend immediately joined Nasruddin in trying to search around the lamppost. 50 meters, 20 meters, 15 meters, and he still cannot find the wallet. And he said again, after a long and fruitless effort, the friend asked again, "Where exactly did you lose your wallet?" Nasruddin answered, "I lost it at home, not here." So the puzzled, the friend asked, "Then why are you searching here in the street instead of your home?" "Because there is a light here, and it's brighter here, so it's easier to search." So you must start by understanding that system thinking can help you to find the right problem. Because no matter how good your effort in problem solving, if you don't solve the right problem, is the key. So again, we see only what we used to see. We see what we train to see. We see what we want to see. That's the important part. And we do not see what they don't expect to see. Next, please. This is the final slide, I think. So further integrate system thinking in your problem solving by developing your own version of questions. Some of my students who understood about this is creating their own paper print-out questions that guide them in terms of conversation and also problem solving. You can develop this. You can develop questions that help you to at least not jump into something directly. You need to understood about what is actually going on. Because the trap of problem solving, because you're really eager in trying to solve the problem that you have, is just try to problem solve it. You need to understood it first. So look at the process, the structure, then reframe the problem. So again, always look at two things in terms of problem solving. What are the process involved, and what is the structure of the problem itself? So this is the important thing, because the structure sometimes, when I say about structure, is about component, connection, and context. Look at the changing context, map, feedback, and dynamics. Sometimes when we see a problem at this stage, it's not actually a problem on another stage. Or sometimes it is a problem on this context, but not a problem on other contexts. The third one is focus your solution design as a system perspective. So you have to make sure whenever your solution is, it's not on one side only. Again, 5 M's, man, money, machine, material, methods, does not mean if you are working in the HR, if you are working in the financial sector, you only can deliver a solution based on one aspect. You need to at least use several aspects as one. You need to consider the man, you need to consider the material, you need to consider about the machine, and also other stuff. Then create an iterative cycle of learning and environment. Changing your thinking is not as easy as you think it might be. You need to be able to have an iterative cycle of learning. Try to make sure you get one right, evaluate based on that feedback, and then try to change your thinking. Next, please. So breakthrough, the one that is ISEEC is actually taking, is actually try to move you from just simple analysis to a system analysis, because it doesn't happen if we just work harder on the parts breakdown. They happen because we see smarter across the system. To start seeing smarter, we must suspend our first conclusion and look at the alternative. This can be achieved deliberately by breaking system down by structured questions, mapping the process, the components, the relationship, and understanding the context that they need to be. Then, only by then, by system thinking principles, you can create a breakthrough that lasts. So hopefully it helps you in terms of, next slide because it's final slide. So hopefully my understanding of system thinking can help you to understand also about what is system thinking. There are so many principles that you already knew, but how to combine them together is also the part of system thinking challenge. So I urge you to start to change the way you think now and try to find alternative thinking, which is, I hopefully, started by system thinking. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Prof. Ahmad, for your valuable insights. So we learn a lot, guys, about knowledge about system thinking, from how to make sure we have the right problems and how to shift from simple analysis to the systems analysis, how to answering structured problems and giving questions, and then input, process, output, feedback, and many things that related to the system thinking. Okay, please again give him a round of applause to Prof. Ahmad. And after this, we will have another speaker that will give us presentation. We will now continue to our second speaker, Ms. Devy Yheanne, independent consultant and guest lecturer in communication and public affairs. And let's give a round of applause to Ms. Devy.
Thank you, Vayana. And let me start this by saying Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure for me joining this seminar by ISEEC to share my professional experience in collaborative governance. The topic is specifically been chosen by the committee because it relates with the key theme of ISEEC's seminar. And this also, I'm trying to do my best to share with you the collaborative governance based on my last experience as the country leader of communication and public affairs at Johnson & Johnson Indonesia innovative medicines in Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. So let's start with the agenda first. I'm trying to do my best because the committee gave me like a 20 minutes max. So our agenda today, we are going to share with you next, purpose and outcomes, and next, definition and importance, next please, exclusion and evolution of collaborative governance, key principles, next please, until the end, benefit challenges, application in public health is because I have an experience in public health and healthcare industry, and next, and best practices for effective collaborative governance. So next slides, please. So we are talking about the purpose and outcome. Basically, collaborative governance is about addressing complex policy issues through collaborative approaches. Next. Okay. By definitions, collaborative governance refers to the process sorry. Before I start, I'm going to share with you my professional experience in collaborative governance to provide overview of corporate governance and business perspective. And desired outcome of this session is to provide an overview, a little bit overview of collaborative governance in the business world. And of course, to share with you our public affairs role in managing collaborative governance and to share relevant case study. So let's start with the definition and importance. Next slides, please. Thank you for the clicker to help me with this. So basically, again, collaborative governance is about addressing complex policy issues through collaborative approaches. And in collaborative governance, there will be multi-stakeholders approach, collective problem solving, inclusive decision-making and cooperation and coordination, and also shared responsibility. How about the importance? When we talk about collaborative governance, it's also essential for addressing complex policy issues that require multi-stakeholders engagement and coordination. And that's why we call it stakeholders engagement, because meaning that collaborative governance will tackle complexity. You heard from Prof. Akhmad earlier talking about the analytical system. It's important because we need to do that when we tackle complexity and we foster collective action and also build resilience. Let's talk about the evolution in collaborative governance. Next, please. There are key evolution of collaborative governance from top-down approaches to collaborative model, and then increasing recognition of the importance of stakeholders engagement, and later on, the advancement in technology enabling greater collaboration. I'm going to share with you some example of this evolution in the following slide. Next slide, please. Okay, next. Yes, this is an example from top-down approaches to collaborative model. The example is the urban planning. No, previous slide, please. Okay. So the Jakarta city government, few years back, making decision without public inputs, leading to potential disconnect between plans and community needs. So the Jakarta government at the time was heavily criticized for the placement of deer in Monas Park, particularly by animal welfare advocates and the general public, for failing to provide adequate living conditions for the animals. So later, the collaborative approaches started by engaging various stakeholders in planning processes in order to create more inclusive and effective urban development strategy. The example illustrates the shift from traditional hierarchical decision-making to more inclusive, participatory approaches that leverage the strength and insight from various stakeholders. Next slide, please. The second example in X, a corporate social responsibility initiative. As part of our contribution to the environment, one of our consumer product at that time, we collaborate with WWF by organizing the Gentle Tree program in 2019. This program started by inviting 2,000 Indonesian moms who had joined Johnson's Parent Club to plant 2,000 trees as a lifelong investment and name the tree with their baby's name. And by the way, these parents can see their tree using the satellite's GPS. So together with WWF, we planted a various type of trees in the 5-hectare Adricon block located in Cisarua, Bogor, West Java province. And the type of the trees is determined based on the result of surveys and discussion with local and communities. And those are sapling of 60% tree crops and 40% fruit trees. The recommended trees also considered as endemic plant in the Ciliwung upstream area. So what I'm trying to say here is this CSR initiative is an example that demonstrates the growing recognition of stakeholder engagement as a critical component of effective decision making, project implementation, and social responsibility. Next, an example of advancement in technology enabling greater collaboration. So we have this TB Warrior social campaign with augmented reality or AR. We launched the TB Warrior educational campaign in Indonesia, which aimed to help empower the younger generation to end tuberculosis or TB. And the goal is to increase awareness and knowledge of young people about TB through gamification, with the main key is to distribute information about TB. And we started with 4 augmented reality or AR filters that can be used on social media platform, and we continue with the hunt and find games. So now let's talk about the key principle that we can find from collaborative governance. When we are doing collaborative governance with multi-stakeholders, please remember, we have to make sure there is inclusivity and diversity. You cannot work alone. And then transparency and accountability, and trust and mutual respect. And then we have to share goals and objectives. You cannot dominantly highlight a certain goal without asking inputs from different or various stakeholders. Next slide, please. In any project, in any program, be it locally or regionally, in collaborative governance, there are always benefits or challenges. If you're talking about benefits, in collaborative governance, there are a lot. It can improve policy outcomes, it increases stakeholders' engagement, and definitely enhance legitimacy and trust. However, when we talk about the challenge, there's also, a various challenges we can find in any collaborative governance, like complexity and uncertainty. Uncertainty can arise from incomplete or ambiguous information, and making this decision-making a challenge. And then also a problem of power imbalance and conflicting of interests, because conflicting interests can emerge from different values or different goals. It mostly happens whenever we have a conversation with our stakeholders. Next slide, please. So, because I have an experience in public health, mostly in healthcare industry, so I'm going to share with you some example. When we do interagency collaboration of health awareness, we have this More Than Blue campaign. The background of the campaign is the fact that Asia Pacific has significantly higher rates of depression and mental illness than other regions in the world. So we have this depression campaign across the Southeast Asia market, and similar campaign also rolling out in several other markets at that time. And then another example is the community initiative health awareness with our CHEERS program with Lentera Foundation. CHEERS stands for Community Health Empowerment for Early Detecting and Reintegrating of Schizophrenia. So we have this program, community-based program located in East Java area. And then another example is public-private partnership for healthcare awareness. We have this Panggung Kampung Sehat. We continue raise public awareness across the communities. We have this collaboration with one of the big retail business in Indonesia and DKI Jakarta provincial government. Interestingly, this program is actually won silver award for media category from Citra Pariwara in the following year, in 2018. And last but not the least is an example of regional-wide awareness campaign, TB Warrior, initially launched in Indonesia, then followed by the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam in 2022. Our TB Warriors is an online educational game which enable youth to take on the persona of TB warriors and navigate different gaming elements. So next slide, please. So I'm going to share with you the Pangkas video. This video will briefly show you the public-private partnership called Panggung Kampung Sehat or Pangkas, which also won silver award for media category, best use of special event, and Stand Live from Citra Pariwara 2018 Advertising Festival.
Tuberkulosis ini memang menjadi perhatian dunia dan Indonesia bahkan tuberkulosis menjadi penyebab kematian pertama.
Health awareness in Indonesia's rural communities is desperately low. A lot of health education seminars and workshops being held by brands to combat this lack of awareness are still not as effective as they should be, mostly because they're dry presentations from healthcare professionals. To solve this issue, Johnson & Johnson Indonesia decided to take a lively theatrical approach and used a traditional and extremely popular medium in Indonesia that's been successfully used to spread knowledge, news, stories, even religion for hundreds of years. Johnson & Johnson Indonesia presents Panggung Kampung Sehat, a wayang puppet show that tells health awareness stories in a witty and extremely entertaining way. As a result of this dramatically different approach, we gained support from Indonesia's largest convenience store chain and even from the government.
Panggung Kampung Sehat ini sangat kita butuhkan melalui wayang golek ini lebih mudah masuk dipahami. Kita minta semua kampung di Jakarta hidupnya normal dan sehat. Ya.
This support allowed us to spread the campaign to rural communities all across Indonesia, while at the same time gaining free media coverage from a multitude of national media outlets, with a total of more than 22 million impressions and 1.3 billion rupiah in value. But most importantly, the campaign has helped to increase health awareness for people in rural communities and put a smile on their faces at the same time.
Okay, thank you. So it looks fun in the video, brief video, but when it comes to collaborative governance, the process is not taking like weeks or months. It took years to do that. So my highlight is, please understand that when you start to do the multi-stakeholders approaches, it always takes time, and you have to invest a lot of time and resources on that. So next slide, please. Let's talk about best practices in effective collaborative governance. Okay, we have to establish clear goal and objective. When we initiated our industry coalition meetings, we established clear goal and objective. We are committed collaboration using every tool at our disposal to advocate about the public health issues. And foster trust and build relationship. And as a committed partners, global partners, not only we work closely with the national TB program in each market or each countries in Southeast Asia, but we also investing in our talent, leadership, and convening power to contribute to organizations like Stop TB Partnerships Indonesia, Pijar Foundation, Indonesia Muda untuk TBC, and to join coalition like Indonesian TB Control Partnership by the government. And we also we have to ensure inclusive and diverse participation. You cannot work alone, as I said. Together with Forum Stop TB Partnership Indonesia, we work with various stakeholders, including the Community Empowerment of People Against Tuberculosis, or CEPAT, from LKNU, and ISEEC, both known among the largest independent organization in Indonesia with millions membership from the grassroots communities. And as a community and public affairs expert, I always remind everyone to always include our media partners, because by the end of the day, they also help us to communicate the messages. Lastly is monitor and evaluate the program. So finally, after several efforts, we have a regular meeting, and finally we are able to submit our TB recommendation to Indonesian government through the Vice President office at the time, back in 2017. So next, I think the following is, again, my highlight based on my healthcare experience when we are doing the collaborative governance to tuberculosis awareness campaign. It always takes time. You have to invest a lot of effort to do this. And the next brief video will show you how many initiatives and engagement that we have to do with multiple stakeholders. Let's have a look. Okay, thank you. As a tagline has mentioned, public health is everyone's business. Same with collaborative governance. In any project that you have, in any program that you develop, you have to involve all groups that relevant to the project, and it's everyone's business by the end of the day. Okay, next slide, please. I think the next slide is, I think, is my final slide for conclusion. So in summary, collaborative governance, again, is a powerful approach for addressing complex policy, such as public health. Of course, there will be like more complex issues out there, like when you're talking about the environments, you're talking about policy, regulation, things like that, or even the procedures. It's always complex. And what I share today is basically only a little bit experience from the healthcare perspective and public health industry business. And my call to action for everyone in these rooms today is to always encourage further exploration and application for collaborative governance principle in policy making and practice. I know it's not easy, I know it always takes time, but believe me, it's always worth by the end of the day. Thank you everyone. I think this is my last slides. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I refer back to our,
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Devy, for your presentation. And Ms. Devy presentation in collaborative governance give us a very valuable insights, such as how we make sure inclusivity and diversity, and then many things that related to collaborative governance. Please give her a round of applause again, everyone. Okay, last but not least, we will move to another speaker, which is our final speaker for today. Please welcome Ms. Maria Trifanny Francisca, Head of Sustainability at Maybank.
Okay, thank you, Yheanne. I feel always energized when I'm surrounded by young people like this. So, very good morning, everyone. Are you still excited to be here? Hope you're still excited. So, okay. My topic for today, I call as Maybank Indonesia's approach to shaping a sustainable future. But before that, let me introduce myself first. So, next slide, please. Okay, so my name is Maria. I'm currently leading the Sustainability Office of Maybank Indonesia. You can see a bit small there, but you can see a bit of my area expertise also as my patients. But I want to tell a bit more story about that picture. So that picture was taken when I graduated from one of the leadership program, which basically prepared me to be the next level as a chief or the director level in organizations. And that picture talking about when I was in the leadership program, one of the key takeaway I have from the program is about when you are in the higher level in the organizations, you are demanded actually to think more holistic, to think more systemic, and to try to use the problem solving more by connecting the dots within one another. So that's the story. And this is actually one of the programs that also prepared for the talents from Maybank. So yes, Maybank is always taking care of their good talents actually. So let's start a bit appetizer before we go to the main course. So go to the next slide, please. Just a bit story about the Maybank Indonesia at a glance. So Maybank Indonesia has been here in Indonesia, I think back then in 1959, at that time when we are brand as a BII, Bank International Indonesia. And then in 2008, I think we are acquired by Maybank Group. And by now, not only bank, we also here be the financial services, covering also the multi-finance, covering the insurance, covering the asset management, and as well as the securities. So our blood is humanizing financial services. It's about do the right things, give the financial access to everyone, leave no one behind, as well as serve as a force for good. Okay, next slide. Now, tiger, not only our logo, but tiger is also our blood. Meaning what? This has become our culture. When we say tiger, meaning the teamwork, integrity, growth, excellence and efficiency, as well as the relationship building. So this is the core culture that we have in Maybank in every day we work. Okay, next slide. Now, we are also honored to be awarded as the best company to work for in Asia for 10 consecutive years in a row by HR Asia. So yes, Maybank is a good word to work, guys. Okay, next. And this is another accomplishment that we have in Maybank. Maybe I just highlighted several that because my topic gonna be related with the sustainability topic. So yes, we just been awarded as the best bank for ESG as well as the best bank for sustainable finance in 2025 by the Euromoney as well as the Global Finance. Okay, next. We play hard, though. We work hard, but we also play hard in Maybank. So a lot of culture about sport, hobby, art, volunteerism, you can also get it from Maybank. Okay, that's about the appetites. Now we go to the main course. Okay, because the topic here is about system thinking, so let me try to apply the system thinking into my office, which is the sustainability office. You see in this view, I think this is the common view that we have every day in our life, right? At least in Jakarta, I don't know in Depok, but Jakarta, every time we have the rain, full heavy rainy, and we got nervous because, oh my God, it's gonna be another flood. And yes, this is the issue not only coming in Jakarta, but I think in global perspective as well. Because of the climate change, there is a research says that every 1 degree Celsius increase in global temperature is estimated to reduce world GDP. GDP is economic growth by 12%, according to one of the National Bureau of Economic Research in 2024. So yes, that's a problem, that the problem statement that we have. And actually that problem statement, we have to dig down. What is the real issue? What is the root cause behind this? So where this began? Let's go to the next slide. Where all of this began? So I believe all of you guys know about this global warming, about greenhouse effect. This is not a new terms that we have currently, but yes, guys, that's happening a lot of nowadays. So basically, because of the greenhouse effect, which the carbon emissions that release to the atmosphere cannot release and making the sun effect or the heat of the sun itself trap into the atmosphere and making the global warming. And the effect of global warming itself is various. It's from the health issue, it's from the resource depletion, it's source for the social inequality as well, and become the disaster. But if we look again deeper and deeper, what is the real issue from this global warming or the glass effect? It's about our actions actually. Our actions, bad or good, actually affecting the planet's climate and ecosystems. So by all of this, I think we can go to the next slide. Sustainability matters. So sustainability is about meeting the needs of the present, where we are today actually, without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So this sustainability goals has been a global goals actually. And by having this actually in global, they have that what they call as SDG or Sustainable Development Goals. We can go to the next slide. So 2015, long time ago, I think 197 countries together and make these Sustainable Development Goals, which not only cover about environmental, climate and everything, but also about national, natural, social and economic resources. And from the SDG, actually, our Indonesia country also make a move because we are part of this 197 countries that being involved in this SDG. And in Indonesia, we have committed as what we call as Indonesia's ENDZ, or Regionally Determinations Commitment Goals, which by 2030, we are expected to, we can reduce the emissions of our country by 30%, 32% by business as usual, or by contributions from the international by 43%. And up to 2030, we are expected to have 34% of renewable energy having in Indonesia as the replacement of the fossil fuels that we have today. And I think going through, I think Indonesia will be one of the country that has commitment that we will have net zero emissions by 2060 or faster. So this just been also re-emphasizing by our presidents recently, but we will have this commitment. And as the moving forward from this commitment, actually Indonesia, our country, has making many policies actually to help to support this commitment. So if we go to the next slide, actually we have various policies that we have today in Indonesia, from the presidential decree until the OJK as our regulator, bank regulator. We have a lot of policies has been imposed in this country to help to support our commitment ENDZ. Okay, so what's the meaning for a bank itself? If we go to the next slide, banks needs to be part of the shaping sustainable and resilient future. So if we see from the structure thinking, we see first from the problem. The problem statement is about the climate change itself. It's a real issues that we have today. And then after this, we break down into the issues, into 3 issues that we have: environmental, social, and also governance. From these 3 angles, environmental, social, and governance, we try to act by connecting the dots, all of this, by having integrate into the core corporate capabilities. And yes, we have a lot of things that we have in actions in bank itself, like we start to disclose our sustainability efforts. We start to make a strategy how we can reduce the carbon, especially related with our company, as well as how we develop our talent through the talent strategy, actually to building the ESG awareness, as well as how we develop the product that more sustainable, that help our clients as well. So yes, Maybank has to be part of this journey, and if there is a consequence if we are not. So first, it's about the reputational risk, it's about the business opportunity loss, and also competitiveness that we will left behind, as well as the credit quality from the bank itself that's gonna be lower. Okay, now where is Maybank? We are also part of this journey. So if we go to the next slide, we are anchored with 3 pillars in our sustainability. These three pillars actually also anchor from the ESG perspective. First is responsible transition. It's about how we enabling the transitions to the low carbon economy from our clients. Because you know, the core business of Maybank or of the banking industry is actually to give the financing to our clients. So basically, we try our best to give the financing for the good, meaning that for those that, you know, have a project more greener, have a project about the waste management effort, have a project related to the renewable energy, those that we appreciate more by having the green loan or by having the loan, sustainable loan. So we are part of the responsible transitions from our clients as well. Second is the S, is the social, enabling our communities. We totally understand that we live in the community, surrounded by the community. So it is our job as well, enabling community resilience and also to improve the social well-being to the surrounding community that we have. And the third one is about the governance itself. So it is very important to make sure that our house is in order and we walk the talk, meaning that we lead by example as well. So the structure, governance, as well as the correct policy, the correct procedures that we have that help us to make our house is in order. Okay. Next, by having these 3 pillars, we also translated this into more detail. I think the most important thing to make the sustainability to be the core of our business is to make this strategy, this as part of our strategy trust as well. So yes, in Maybank Indonesia, sustainability is part of our strategic trust. And we translated this into measurable commitment as well, as we call the 4 sustainability commitments. We will go more deeper into one of the commitments, which is the sustainable finance, which is really relate actually how the system thinking relating. So in these 4 commitments, we're talking about giving the sustainable finance to our clients. Second is to improve the livelihoods, the lives of our surrounded. The third one is about the carbon neutral. We are part of this carbon neutral and also net zero emissions by the country. And the fourth is by imposing the culture of sustainability into our office as well, into our company as well. So that's all the commitments that we have, and by having this, I want to deeper more on the sustainable finance. So if we go to the next slide. Again, one of the core value of bank is to give the financing to, to our clients, to make our clients become aware more on what is sustainability, what is ESG, what is the importance of sustainability itself. So we start from the framework. We make what we call a sustainable product framework to help to guide us the creations of green, social, and sustainability-linked products. And this framework actually has been following the global standards as well. And when we talk about the sustainable finance, actually we cover a lot of sectors, more like a solar. I think most of us actually right now trying to install the solar panel, especially for cost efficiency. But eventually that solar panel actually also be part of the renewable energy, which is can reduce the carbon emissions from this country as well as from the global. And also we have, maybe you're also very familiar with the EV today. EV also one of the kind of the carbon emission, low economic carbon. Which is by using the EV, actually you are supporting the carbon emissions as well. And yes, this is just a sample of all the things, all the sectors that we as a bank can help to support in terms of the financing, in terms of how your company or the company around us can be more sustainable. Okay, so the next slide is just to give you the picture where we are today in terms of mobilizing the sustainable finance for our clients. So since 2021, Maybank Indonesia managed to mobilizing about 9.1 trillion in sustainable financing until 2024, as it's become improve every year for sure. This is the way how we support in terms of the to solve the problem, which is the climate change itself. So yes, this is coming from the green loan related with the EV itself, related with the social loan, how we also support the MSME clients to make them, to give them working capital financing, to give them more capital to sustain their business as well. Okay, next is on the last slide, actually, this is related with the governance. So if I say before that we have to start with the strategy, we have to start with the framework, then it is really important to also to have the monitoring of this framework and also monitoring of all the things, the progress that we have. Therefore, in terms of the governance, it is really important to have independent body, especially to provide the strategic directions and oversight on whatever you do in sustainability and also the ESG practices, and actually how to embed these ESG practices into the business and operations as well. Okay, so I think that's all the slides from me. The last slide is just more on the sponsors. So everyone, if you want to know more about Maybank Indonesia and how we live there, you can also tag our in Maybank ID and also Be My Tiger, right? Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Maria Trifanny, for such an inspiring presentation. And we would like you to remain to the stage because after this we will have panel discussion session. And we've learned about Indonesia's ENDC, how structured thinking can impact many aspects, especially in banking, and how Maybank anchored from ESG perspective and many things that related to the system thinking. And again, please give a round of applause to Ms. Maria and then the 4 speakers for today's session. We've now explored their ideas further, and we will move to the panel discussion session where we will connect and compare the perspective shared by each speakers. And I would like to invite all of our speakers back to the stage for our discussion. For Prof. Ahmad, Ms. Devy, and Mr. Hariyanto Salim, you may get to the stage and please be seated. Please give a round of applause to our speakers for today. Okay, so we are now here with our speakers, our 4th speakers. And how are you today, Mr. Prof and Miss? Fantastic. Fantastic?
Excellence.
Yeah, it's very, it has been a long time since I speak in front of audiences like this, especially in English. It's really inspiring to see such young faces. It's a privilege, actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hariyanto. Next, Prof.
I'm not sure what I have to talk about because I see so many, so many familiar faces. For you, it's not familiar. So it's nice to see you all. How you like to be involved in terms of try to understood more about system thinking or involved in the competition that of ISEEC is provided to you. So it's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, Prof. Next, Ms. Devy.
Thank you. As I said earlier, it's a fantastic to have this opportunity to meet with wonderful people here, the speakers, and of course our students from technical industry. Yeah? I think at least we are expected that what we share will give beneficial. You can learn from our experience from corporate perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Devy. Ms. Maria.
Okay, so I think I just mentioned that I feel energized every time I've been surrounded by the young people because they have different energy actually. You know, that we'll actually not only them that learn from us, but we also learn from them. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Please give a round of applause to our speakers for today. Okay, so we move to our first questions. I want to ask about your experience. Have you ever experienced a moment when a thing completely fell apart, but later became a turning point for your life or career? And what did you learn from that? Who want to share it first? Okay, Mr. Hariyanto.
Thank you. Well, one thing about what I share today is my experience as entrepreneurs. And when you are starting something new, especially in the industries or business where technologies are not there yet, you are developing something entirely new. You don't know if you're going to succeed or not. So it's a big challenge for everybody. And as for me, it's even more challenging because by educations, by trainings, by experience, those ventures that I started is not actually fitting into my backgrounds. When you try something new and you do not know what is ahead of you, would you dare to step into the next step? Would you even dare to think about it, dream about it? But then you also have some experiences, you have some networks, you have some previous knowledges. If you can somehow connect all those that you have already gained in your life, and you can somewhat project that to the future and you make a planning, it somewhat will help to kind of guide you and navigate you into the future. So yes, system thinkings help a lot. It really helps you to formalize your thinkings, your ideas, and put it into plan. Can it be business plans, life plans, or development plan? Eventually, you'll get there. But of course, you will fail. There are some times when you plan everything, you think that you have the best plan, the best project plan, etc. But then at one certain time, hey, it's not happening. For example, I did mention one word when I presented today, the next barrier. Did any of you ever check Google just now what is going on with next barrier? If you have not, should.
Because actually, our company, or I would say all the automotive industries in the world, is having a serious problem with the shortage of chip. Nexperia is a producer of chip that is used in automotive industries and electronics. It's a China-based company, and for some reason, the Dutch government hostile takeovers the headquarters in Netherlands, and now they're having a big disputes. All the world is now having a shortage because the China government retaliate by banning the export of chips from China factories to all over the world. So there is no way we can plan for this kind of crisis, and it's happening a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hariyanto. Next. Maybe Miss Devy or Prof?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go next.
Okay.
A very interesting questions, and I think there's a lot of experience that we need to, reminds us, and we can take a learn from it. So I would say that based on my 20 plus years of experience working for multinational companies, there's always a challenge. Just to share with you, everyone, working with a corporation is not always as smooth as you can imagine, but sometimes there's always challenge that we face. I'm giving you a quick example. Of course, there will be like more examples, but one example that I would like to share with you is when the big earthquake happened, the second big earthquake actually, I'm not talking the first one in Aceh, but the second one in Central Sulawesi back in 2018, if you remember, we have like thousands of people have died, thousands of people are injured, and hundreds of thousands of people are displaced because of the calamity. So at that time, as one of the healthcare company in the world, we actually do, like immediate responses to that disaster. When we do, like a donation, supporting, like product donation, etc., it's really, following the procedure. But when it comes to requests from our partners like Indonesian Orthopedic Association, because there's a challenge because they no longer have a proper equipment from the hospital because of the big earthquake. And they need a certain medical devices or medical technology devices that can be used to do the surgery. And one of the companies that they reach out at the time is Johnson & Johnson. And I was work for community impact, global community impact in Asia Pacific. And it's quite a challenging because if you understand when you're working for a multinational company, you're talking about the matrix system. So you're not doing like only one or two singles reporting system, but you're doing like a matrix. You have to do a connection, you have to do the approach methodology and share with the regional team, with global team, with local team.
And to be honest with you, at that time, I have to connect with 50 plus people within 2 or 3 days just to ensure that we can get this fixator medical device to be imported to Indonesia, to be exported from Switzerland, because we don't have that. We didn't have, but at that time we ran out of stock. And we need the surgery as soon as possible because the association are requested. And it's not an easy task, actually. I would say that that's a challenge, but I always trying to share this kind of situation with all of my team, that in every challenges, in every problem, be sure you always have a different mindset. You have to always have this mindset looking for opportunities. I think we heard from either Pak Hariyanto or Prof Akhmad talking about the analytical thinking system. So you have to think about the problem, the root cause of the problem, because once you recognize the problem and then you can start to find a solution. And this can be applicable to any situation that we can face. In my case, actually, any issues, any critical or crisis communication or crisis situations, the problem always become our opportunity to find a solution, and even we can create innovation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Devy. Ms. Maria?
Yes, okay. I think just to add from the angle from my personal. So, yes, definitely I've been in that situations many times, especially you saw right in the corporate or work life, definitely that's happening a lot of times. So maybe I just give several tips, which is I still learn as well until today actually. First, when that happened, actually, please manage your emotions, meaning that keep calm as much as possible, because when you panic and when you think that a lot of it's not helping you a lot when you are panicked, definitely. So manage your emotions, keep calm, definitely one of the key things that you have to do. Second, because I don't know this is applicable for others as well, but I'm a vision, I'm a typical of like the vision instead of, trying to imagine everything. So I try my best to, write down everything. Make it in the structured way, make it like, about mind mapping, how this related with that one, what is the root cause of this, and so forth. It's gonna be complex maybe in the visual, but again, it is better if in the visual, whether in your head actually. And the third one, trying to find the stakeholders that can help you, because you cannot be alone. You cannot solve everything by yourself. Definitely having the right person to help you is mandatory, I think. So having this mind mapping, finding the right issues, finding the root cause of it, and who actually can help you, and connecting all of this into one solutions. Yes, I think that's.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Maria. Prof. Ahmad?
Yes, I try not to talk a lot because you have a wonderful panel here, and you already listen to me most of the time. But again, in terms of systems thinking, I guess, speaking as academics, you cannot grow without problems. Problem is a feature in your life. It's not a defect. It is something that you expect to have in your life. And the growth mindset, the learning mindset is important for you to have when you're facing problems. Just expect that everything's going to be failure, but the way to handle it is to learn from it. The way you have to learn from it, try to use a more holistic approach on how to learn from it. I guess the most interesting part about problems is you cannot always see problems as negative. Once I talked with one of the director of Danone after they acquired Aqua, the one that sponsored your event today. And I said that I sent some students work practice atau kerja praktek in their company, and because they learn about quality improvement, they ask in the company, is there any problems here? Nobody asked them, nobody answered them, because Aqua was used to be a golden Mississippi, I guess. Then they are very old family traditional company. So they don't like to recognize problem. So when you ask, is there a problem here? Nobody wants to answer it because no problems here. If there is a problem, I get fired. This kind of things makes me want. So when they return to the work practice and say, "Pa, I've already in 1 week in going into Aqua, and there's no problem there. What did you ask? Is there a problem in Aqua?" No, of course not. They won't answer you if you ask like that. The way you should ask the problem is there anything better that you like to be see in the company? Is there anything that we like to have improve in the company? Because that is much more positive mindset in terms of looking at problems. So again, try to look at the problems not as a negative. Try to look at the breakdowns not as negative, but a chance for you to learn from it, to grow from it. Because nobody learns from success usually. They learn from failure, and failure coming from the problem. But but again, I remind you that any problems that you have, analyze it, learn from it, grow from it, because that's what makes you stronger in terms of decision making.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. So there's always be challenge or uncertainty in our life, but system thinking make it better, and we cannot grow without problems. Okay, move to the next question. I want to ask, why do you think it is important to understand the full situation before making a decision or trying to solve a problem? Who wants to go first? Miss Maria?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. So let's see from the angle of the helicopter. When you are in the helicopter, you can see a lot of things. But if you are using microscope, let's say, it's really one tiny, spot in there. What I want to say that when you are in the helicopter, you can see a lot of perspective. And it is important before you make any decisions, actually. Because actually those perspectives that enrich your mind, that make you, having another inputs, having another thoughts. So it's about inputs, getting more inputs and processing in your mind before it goes to the outputs. So it's about system thinking as well, right? So getting more inputs before making the outputs is important. So that's why I think it is important to have from the helicopter view first.
Okay, thank you, Miss Maria. Next. Okay,
Okay, I can add to that. I fully agree with Mbak Maria here. And I think it is clearly very, very important. It's very important to understand the full situation before making any decision. And I'm looking at from my experience as communication and public affairs. So there are reasons, many reasons actually, and important reasons for understanding the full situations is to establish credibility and trust from communication and public affairs perspective. Second is to control the narrative, right? You cannot say the wrong thing. You have to understand the full situation, the root cause of the problem. And then, I agree again with Mbak Maria, it will reduce panic and uncertainty. So in any crisis situations, you have to understand the full situation, because once you understand the situation, and then you can reduce the panic attack and also uncertainty. And then it's also enable us to swift or give effective responses. If you don't know the full situation, if you don't know the problem, you cannot respond anything. As a public relation and communication person and expert, you have to know this by, in the back of your mind.
And by the end of the day, it will protect your reputation and the brand, be it your product brand or your corporate brand or your institution as a brand. So we need to protect the reputation. And it also facilitates business continuity and recovery. So if you have like a, excuse me, like some calamity happen to your manufacturing, right? So you have to think about the business continuity, but before you do that, you need to understand the root cause of the problem, and then you have to understand the full situation. And again, fully understanding the situation will avoid escalation and legal issue. God forbid, but we have to manage that properly. Thank you, Yheanne.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Devy. Maybe, Prof?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, let me see it in a good academic perspective. Following on to the two ladies regarding the concept. In problem solving, you have to first try to find the right problem. I already mentioned this on the class. So the challenge of problem solving is actually finding the right problems. Then you conduct an analysis and solving the problems, which is actually will be helpful if you have the full picture of the problem itself. And the third thing that's also important is how you sell the solution of your problems. Because sometimes as an engineer, you're focusing on how to solve the problem, but you don't sell it well. That's the issues that you need to also work on. So let me also highlight on what kind of full understanding means, because full understanding means might have different type of different perspective on it. For some experienced people, what does full understanding mean? He only looks at the important components of the problem itself based on his or her experience. So what we mean by full is you need to have a framework that you will work on in terms of finding solution of the problems. The primary framework as industrial engineers are two frameworks. One is already mentioned by Hariyanto. Salim is 5 M's. So always have full understanding of the aspect of man, money, machine, material, methods. Never miss one. That means full. Even though the problems in finance, there is always some man, actually, there is always some support of machine that is not working, and etc. So that's what it means by full. And you can have this additional component that you want. You want to have information in it. You can have, what did you add? Market in it. Up to you. You create framework. Experienced people have this framework in their mind as based on what they already learned so far in their professional career. Some have 7 M's, some has 9 M's. Probably the experienced one only have 3 M's. We don't know, but you might have it. The second framework that also industrial engineering must always use is what we call 5 Whys, 5 W, and H. What, where, when, how, who. So for each of these components that you have, that you need to at least ask about 5 Whys, 5 W's, and H for each component. So this is what it means by full understanding. So create your own framework, but that's what makes it a full understanding. Full understanding means all the components that you need to, that you require to solve the problems has already been touched upon. I guess that's, again, I'm talking is an academic perspective, so hopefully helps you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Yes, Mr. Hariyanto.
I'm more of a practical person, so I'm trying to give you an actual example. Probably this is not the best case, but let me try. Allow me, yeah? Has anybody searched for Nexperia again? Not yet, okay. Anyway, they produce cheap electronic components. A lot. Not only on the automotives, but also on the electronics. Kulkas, TV, dan seterusnya. So now they cannot produce. They cannot sell to customers. Happens that my company use several components from this company. What happens to my company if I cannot get the components from Nexperia? Can I produce? Can I produce if I do not have enough components? No, of course not. What do I need to do? Pak, cari di pasar, Pak. Find in the market. Go collect as many as you can, because when the Nexperia produce, they sell to many traders. Probably there are some traders still have the components. Get as many components from the markets. Correct? Probably. Let me explain to you, that's a problem in there. This problem is a major issue. And if there's a scarcity, what will happen next? Fake products. If I go to the market and buy the components from the markets right away, what will I get? Genuine products or fake products? I don't know. What if I buy the fake products? And not only that, since there's a scarcity, I buy only $1, but then because of the scarcity, the culprit sells to me $20, and I buy. Not only I got fake products, I also buy at a very escalated price. And when I buy, I produce, etc., actually my products will have quality problems in the future. I give to the customers, and what happens? My lamps have problems in the next 1 year. I will receive claims. But let's see it on another view. Hey, isn't this a major global issue? Is it only my company affected with this problem? A lot of other electronic components, car producers' components, have these problems. So this is a major issue. So if I tell my customer, hey, sorry man, I do not have the components, I cannot produce, I cannot sell to you. Can customer accept this as a force majeure? Do I have to buy the expensive, fake components just to produce not good products to sell to the customer, saying that I do not have problems? That kind of thinking is a very simple systems thinking example that I can show you. But understanding the whole situations and actually come up with a way to communicate with your customers, solutions, etc., will help you a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hariyanto. So more input is important for we understanding, and then to understand all the component will help us to be full understanding the problems. Okay, before we move to the next question, I will remind you guys to prepare the questions, because after this we will have a Q&A session with audience. Okay, we will move to the next question. How can we encourage and help ourselves and others to focus on what really causes a problem instead of jumping to quick and temporary fixes? Who wants to go first? Maybe Prof? Okay.
So basically, try to find an alternative explanation of everything. So jumping requires problem solving requires a pause in terms of what you usually do to what you actually look at. So always to have a stop sign before you try to jump into solution. So jumping can be avoided if you have a stop sign. And start after the stop sign, you need to be able to look at other possibilities of explanation, of understanding, of solution from that problem. We called it expand and focus sequence, I think. We talk about this in quality improvement. So you always have alternatives whenever you want to have a look at the problems. And just simple, if you don't want to jump to solution, don't do it. That's as simple as that. Don't jump to solution. Try to make a signpost of stop before you do. But this is important because the way we look at the problems is usually based on our experience so far. So expand this experience also. Not just try to have a stop sign, but you always have to expand your horizon so that you can always see that one problems have multiple dimensions on it. This requires several knowledge or expanding your horizon itself. So if you look at cases of other companies, yeah, there is so many YouTube channels about it. In 10 years ago, you can read articles, but now I say you can look at YouTube channels, you can watch at YouTube channels, like CNBC or Wall Street Journal, or that talks about corporate cases. Try to get this knowledge beforehand. So because you already look like several cases of companies, for example, when you look at problems, you realize that I remember that some of the YouTube videos saying that this is not the problem. So one is try to have a stop sign before you jump on into anything. So always remember that there is always a possibility of it. Second, expand your horizon by watching other cases of companies. So because of this, you might get, and the third one is your purpose. Always, as I already mentioned on the first questions, have a growth mindset, have a learning mindset. Always look at all the problems that you have as a chance to improve yourself. Even at my age now, 30 years of teaching, I still look at problems on the ways that, is it still applicable? The way I'm thinking about this problem, do I still need to modify my thinking in terms of that kind of, so having growth mindset is important in terms of try to not jump to conclusion. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Next, maybe Ms. Devy?
Yeah,
okay.
I can add to that. Thank you, Prof. Ahmad. And I'm fully agree with his recommendation as well. And if I may add from a corporate perspective, I always like to encourage the team and everyone here to always encourage root cause problem solving. Always. I would recommend we highlight and we focus on root cause problem solving over quick fixes. And let's adopt the structure analytical techniques like the 5 whys. Yeah. Asking whys. Why this? Why that? Why that? Why then? Why? Until 5 times. If you have more than 5, then go for it. And then shift our mindset to be solution-oriented. Nowadays, whenever we're facing challenges, always have a mindset of solution-oriented. Some people, sometimes when we are young, we are thinking that, oh, this is so much problem I can handle. I cannot handle with it. It's too much for me, etc., etc. But nowadays, in order to compete with the global world, you need to have this, excellent mindset of solution. In every challenges that we are facing, you have to do this. And then, again, break down complex issues. Not one time or several times, many times in our daily life or in our works, we've faced with complex issues. Always break down into the details. Like Ibu Maria just mentioned earlier. It's very important to, break down the complex issues. And then, again, foster a culture of asking why to uncover underlying problems. I think that's some recommendation from my end. And I know it's not an easy task, but you can start from your own from today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Devy. Next, Ms. Maria?
I think I really agree with all that has been explained. Maybe just add one more thing. Again, it's about how you visualize the problem itself. So again, when one of my team coming to me with a problem, stop, pause, is really helping. Keep calm is really helping. And then after that, I will bring them to one of the whiteboard and we try to structure all the what is the issues, okay, what is the root cause, why, and everything is why, until we get the right problem, as Prof said. And all by having this visual helping me a lot to structure what is the real problem and which one that I need to tackle. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Next.
Again, I want to be practical here because everybody is already mentioning so much. I think I'm 100% correct if I say that everybody in this room are very smart. We are Indonesians, we are having international seminars, and we are all talking English, and you can understand us. You are actually all above average. You are very smart. That's a curse. That's a curse for systems thinking. Why? Because you think you are smart. When you think you are smart, you become sotoy. Yes, you are. I am. And this curse is a big hindrance for me when becoming a leader in a company. Because sometimes I have to make quick decisions. These quick decisions sometimes at the cost of not having enough information. But I still have to make decisions. Remember, we are smart, but not, always correct. Not always correct. Always question yourself. Is this the right solution? Do I have enough information? Can I stop, pause, and hold my decision until last minute? Sometimes when we are given problems or when we are asked questions, since we are smart, we tend to answer right away. Trust me, we all make a lot of mistakes by answering too fast, too quick, not really thinking what we are answering. Correct? True, yeah? That's because of our curse. That's because of us all being smart. So my personal notes to everybody in this room, especially for me, since we are all smart, don't think that you're smart. Always question your thinkings, your reasonings, your answers. Even if you can, pause your answer until last minute necessary. It will help you a lot. And that is part of systems thinking, because you need to gather all the information you can get before making the right decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Hariyanto. Please give a round of applause. Okay, so for summarize, we have to have stop sign before jumping into the problem, and then always find the root cause of problem solving and expand its horizon. Okay, so this is our last questions for this panel discussion session, and after this we will have Q&A session with audience, so prepare your questions, guys. The last question is, what advice would you give to young people who want to make a real difference by not just fixing what's broken, but turning it into something better? Who wants to go first?
I'll start.
Okay.
Well, there's so many, but I will pick three important, I would say it's advice to our students here. Adopt change maker mindset, always. Change maker, be it like it's aligned with your values or your purposes, etc. always have that mindset. I would like to become a change maker. And the second one is always have the growth mindset. Think bigger. Whatever the issue, whatever the challenge, whatever the solutions can think of, always have a growth mindset. And then, I think I mentioned this earlier, always looking for opportunities. In every challenges, there's always opportunity for innovation and solution. I think that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Devy. Next, Ms. Maria.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe I will give the sharing from the perspective of data. So I think it is important if you want to make a difference, equip yourself with the right data, and that data will support you in many ways actually. Because when you're convincing others, I think I'm a data driven actually. So I will be convinced where the data says so. So I mean, I believe a lot of leaders also have a data-driven mindset as well. So equipping yourself with the data, with the real data, I mean, will help you a lot. And second is having your goals. What is your purpose? What is you want to achieve actually? By having that goals, actually you know where is the track. And just having that track, you know what you do next.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Next, Mr. Hariyanto.
Excuse me for giving this advice, but I see that a lot of people here are still very young. Equip yourself, like Maria explained, with knowledge, with experience. Try to listen more. We all talk too much, but we do not listen. That's a big problem. As a system thinkers, we have to be able to listen. Not just hear, but listen. Listen to the people's saying, the data, informations, the facts, even the gossips. Gibah juga penting loh. Listen. Because by listening, then you'll be able to analyze. When listening, you actually pause, you stop, you let your mind think. Listen, be humble. Sometimes becoming overconfident, we are too certain that our solutions is always correct. But when you're becoming humble, you will be able to listen more. And then after that, you will be able to come up with a better answers, solutions, and you will have your confidence along the time when you become older, when you become like Prof. Ahmad or me. We are almost the same age, yeah, only 3 years difference. Very old. Future still lies ahead of you. Make mistakes. Seriously, make mistakes, tries. Because if you want to become a system thinker, you have to solve problems. When you solve problems, you will make mistakes. Make more mistakes. Because from your mistakes, you will learn. And after that, you will gain wisdom. And if you don't want to face that kind of mistakes or problems, you can always ask your elderly, your seniors, who has previous experiences. That is my notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hariyanto. Next, Prof. Akhmad.
I guess all advice are good, the one that already given to you. For me, I think you're already on your journey to learn something that is not academically given to you in terms of ini bukan kuliah teknik, this is an engineering problems, yeah. So hopefully you already realize that you need to learn how to learn on terms of different kind of learning. So many of you learn the same way from high school, from previous school that you have. do you know that there is another way of learning, for example, a better way of learning, using mind map, using so many tools of learning that systems thinking's the one that will introduce to you. It's actually try to make sure that you complement your engineering skills with other skills that you might need. Devy also mentioned about presenting, narrating your solution, because no matter how good your solution, without be able to present it well, then it's nothing. So expand your horizon to understood now that from now on, you need to learn other things than what is actually the engineering side of things. You need to develop your soft side, not just the hard side. You need to think differently. You need to learn differently. You need to unlearn what you might not necessarily need anymore. So the growth mindset that we already talked about with you is actually about that you need to just grow not just on academically speaking, but also on non-academic courses as well. Try to talk to everybody, make mistakes, try to learn. When you speak to your friends, use it as a medium for learning. If I say it like this, how does he or she respond? If I respond like this, so make it all as a medium of learning beyond what you already know. Because Hariyanto is right, you are all smart. You are learning the same thing. So in the course that I have, one of the courses that I have, I'll ask you to look at your left and look at your right. They are all your friends, right? Or somebody else. But when you work professionally, they're actually your competitors. They are good competitors, actually. So the question is, are you different than them? Are you better different than them? Because they learn the same thing as you. They took the classes same of you. They took the courses the same as you. So what is your difference then? What is your better difference? And it's coming out from other sources than the one that you learn from the books in engineering. So have that growth mindset, learning mindset as the primary mindset that you have. And this is the best way to learn at this time. You are still young, you are fast adaptive, and we are old. We are all old here. Except Bu Maria and Bu Devy, we are old. She has more books than me. I only have 5 books already. She has 50. You already won. So that basically, all of it, learn, try to make sure that you learn other than the one that.
Thank you so much, Prof. Ahmad. So for today's session, the keywords is growth mindset and fully understanding, yeah? Okay, now we will have a Q&A session.
Okay, so if you guys have a question, please raise your hand. And then after I choose you, please move forward to the microphone, either on the left side or the right side, and then tell your name and the question. Okay, by my count, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Maybe from there? Yes? Yes, you. Tell your name and the question.
Thank you for the opportunity. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nafla. I'm from Industrial Engineering, batch 2024, the international program. And my question is regarding the helicopter's view. I know that helicopter's view is complicated. Like you pay more attention to detail and you require more time to have a systematical thinking at viewing things in a wider range. When taking a helicopter view, you have to ensure that you're not overlooking the important small details. And my question would be, how do you balance big picture thinking with attention to detail? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Is it clear enough? Yes? Okay, please give a round of applause to our friends. Who wants to go first to answer the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their systems thinking supposedly not to for everyday thinking, right? If you're hungry, just buy any food that you like. You don't have to evaluate it by using 4 M's or 5 M's. What is my money? What is the material that I have to eat? What is it? So basically, it's supposed to be used in terms strategically when making complex decision or try to have a problem solving. So balancing that, but how do we know this? That's questions that usually ask. But I already have this bad conversation. I have these bad results from my previous solutions. But I don't actually use system thinking at that time. So the system thinking for that kind of thing is basically helps you to break down and then understood why you react like that. We cannot have, when you have more experience like Hariyanto, for example, there is a book called Blink, which actually talk about how his experience is fast forwarding all of the things that he thinks is important and create a solution or an answer that actually to the point, that is good. But you're not there yet. So you need to learn how to develop that. I'm not saying that you're not there yet now, but in 4 years, in 3 years, in 20 years, you will get that. That's what CEOs do. They actually try to condense everything in terms of. So how we balance it? I don't think we need to balance it because this is 2 different things. Your everyday thinking and your, you call it long, what was you call it? I forgot. Then Kahneman said it, this is system 1 and system 2. I look like a professor again. The fast thinking and the slow thinking. That's what Daniel Kahneman say. So the slow thinking is actually helpful. The first thinking, the fast thinking is also helpful. I also mentioned in the slide that I already mentioned about analysis and system analysis. For some problems, analysis is still okay. Don't say that you have to go to system analysis all at once because it takes time, it takes effort for you to do that. For the problems that Pak Hariyanto said, you might not have a time to conduct a system analysis. You have to conduct a very quick analysis and just make decisions. But the system thinking, after that, when you try to analyze why I was fast moving forward like this, is the one that you need to consider. So both is not to be balanced. It's depending on what you need. If you're talking about dinner or lunch, just buy it. But if you're talking about dinner for wedding or lunch for a wedding, for an event, you might have to go to slow thinking. So I don't think it's supposed to be a balancing act. Both should be exist depending on the context of the problems that you are facing. Is that what you're asking actually? Yes, okay. So I'm a little bit confused.
Real quick, if you ask me, Pak, I have this idea for a business, I have this product, blah, 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 blah. You explain to me in 5 minutes. I can tell you if the business will go or not. Because that's already built in my mental mind. This systems thinking of how to start out a business, etc. I actually helped the Ministry of Research and Technology back in 2008 until 2012, helping researchers develop businesses. So I trained it. You pitch me ideas, I can tell you if it's going to work or not in like 5 minutes. But if you ask me, Pak, how to cook the nasi goreng rendang ya, Pak ya? Then I'll be confused. I do not even know what to prepare, what's the ingredients, etc. So by time you will learn. And I think Pak Ahmad is very, very correct. It's not about act of balancing, it's only about a time limit or objectives and what's the purpose of the decision that you need to make. If it's a simple one, don't overthink it. But if you have to make a quick decisions, then you have to, use all the power, all the superhero powers, all the intuitions that you have to come up with a better decisions. There's no such thing as the best decision. It's only a better decision at that time. Because if you're given more time, I believe everybody will come up with a better decision or answer. Okay? So it's just a matter of timing and the type of decisions that you have to make. Okay?
Thank you, Prof. and Mr. Hariyanto. Next, maybe want to add something? Yeah.
I think just to reiterate, it's about situation. So situational decision, meaning that which one that you need to use, whether it is a system thinking or it is, a fast thinking or a fast decisions. So let me implement this into my work life. Let's say there is one of my team coming to me to make a decisions to signing the agreement. In that case, I don't need to to think a lot about holistic view about this agreement, what is about, where this come from, and la la la. I just think faster, and make a decision at that time. So focus on the details on the agreement itself. That's it. But if we talk about because we have a problem, let's say with media or something like Ibu said before, and we have to think more and to get more input, more holistic view on what this is about, and that's where the system thinking will take a part. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Next, Ms. Devy.
Our response are great. I mean, I cannot agree more because the rest of the teams already mentioned that. But I would like to highlight here that, again, it's based on timing and it's situational and based on context. Again, it's very important to understand the situation based on context and the timing. And you cannot do everything and treat and apply the response as the same, but you have to understand the reason behind it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Devy. Is it clear enough, the answer? Yes. Thank you so much. Please give a round of applause to our friends and the speakers. Okay, 2 more questions, guys. Okay, by my count. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Yes, you. Yes.
Okay, maybe I want to say maybe huge thank you for Miss Maria, Miss Devy, Prof. Akhmad, also Mr. Hariyanto for such a great speech up towards now. So maybe I am Mama Shafiq Abiu, a 3rd semester student of Industrial Engineering from University Indonesia. And maybe my question is more focusing on maybe your college life throughout in the past itself. So maybe what I want to ask to you is about, maybe also we know that us as young people and also as college students, maybe we have kind of a huge willingness to also succeed in our career. Also, we have prepared many things, for example, experiences, or also pursue our studies. But maybe based on your previous experiences in college, what was the main catalyst, or also what is your main foundation to achieve your success right now? And also, how did design or system thinking have also supported your progress throughout college so that you can achieve your stage of life right now? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Please give a round of applause to our... Okay. Want to go first? Maybe Ms. Maria?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not really clear with the, because I think the voice surround, but please correct me if I not really answering your questions. But it's about what are you doing right now, or not, sorry, what is again? It's about how you, sorry, can you repeat again? I'm really confused. Yes, the voice is a bit noise.
Just repeat the main question, yeah.
So sorry, maybe if the question is not clear prior, so maybe the main question is, what was the main catalyst or even your main things that you have done throughout college and also that have made you achieve what you are doing right now, and also maybe how did this design and systematic thinking have supported this main catalyst that you have pursued throughout college?
Okay. What is the catalyst during the, okay. Okay, just to give you a background, my background is in science, computer science, in my colleagues during my university at that time. So now I moved to sustainability, which is the really new kind of different field that I have to learn. I think the key thing is the eager to learn every day, every time, wherever in the steps of your life. So meaning that you have to keep continuously trying to get the new knowledge to keep you adapt with the situations and the change that we have today. I think we never stop learn. I think one of the profile from Pahari saying that student of life, that's so true. That's also happening to me. In every of my daily tasks right now, I keep learning. I keep trying to improve my knowledge. By now you have ChatGPT, you have the AI helping you a lot for sure, but since back then, I think we have to find right literature, we have to find the right book to help us. But by now, you guys, you have the advantage. But again, keep learning, keep getting the new knowledge, and open-minded. Open-minded with the other things that happening today, and equip that as enrich yourself by having that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Next, maybe Ms. Devy.
I think it's a very interesting questions, and I would like to share my own experience from like years ago. So basically, my background is in biology. So all of my friends actually studied about forest technology, management, like, you know, we learn about the social economics and forestry management, things like that. But at that time, one thing that I did is actually have a breakthrough mindset and thinking from a different perspective. You know what, like 25 years ago or 30 years ago, a lot of environmentalists in the world are working and try very, very hard to convince all the corporations in the world to invest more for environmental protections. Most of my friends at that time, actually, they work for Greenpeace, they work for WWF, they work for Latin, they work for all the NGOs that related with the environment. So the key problem at that time that I found is actually those corporations, they don't understand or they don't want to understand what is the real problem. So we know the problem, but they don't. So my innovation at that time, when I was young, is actually I want to infiltrate and tell the corporations what is the real problem and how the easiest way to do that, join the corporation. That's what I did. So I'm not working for the environmentalist NGOs or working with Greenpeace in the global wake and campaign, global campaign. What I did is actually I'm working for corporation with consumer goods. And at that time, I managed to convince, when I was work for Kraft Foods, and we managed to convince the Kraft Foods Foundations at the time to ensure that the cocoa suppliers coming from Indonesia, because Kraft Foods at the time was one of the biggest chocolate producer, confectionery globally. So most of their products sources are coming from, you know, Africa, Brazil, and nothing, none, zero, zip from Indonesia. So what I did, actually, me and my team, is trying to convince the Global Foundation to ensure that there's a lot of resources available in Indonesia. So at that time, back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, 2010
2009 or 2010, actually, those 2 years, we're trying to convince our global foundations to invest $5 million for our cocoa project in Indonesia and also coffee farmers in Bukit Barisan Selatan, because we have this program with WWF to educate and invest to the coffee farmers and also to protect the environment. So my highlight here is actually try always to think differently. You cannot just, working and through a normal path, but you have to have like a different perspective. And then you can develop and, achieve the goals with a different approach. So that's what I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Devy. Next, maybe Prof. Ahmad?
I think I've been like 30 years ago since I go to college, so I don't know what you're actually challenged from. But again, that's what I've always started my classes with, especially for industrial engineering. I don't know what is your challenges. I'm too old to understand what your challenge is. I cannot predict what is going on to the world 3 years, 2 years from now in terms of the job opportunities. Trump messed everything. He created uncertainties at the level we never experienced before. That kind of uncertainties I don't know which going to be repelled by that kind of uncertainties. Is it the banking sector? Is it the manufacturing sector? Is it the consulting or the FMCG, the one that you already have eyes on? But one thing for sure that I already look at, some of the requirement to become a future leader or a future graduates is still the same. You have to have a good communication skill. You have to have the good teamwork. You have to be able to learn quickly and adapt quickly. So it's not changing. That is something 10 years ago, 15 years ago, is still required by the professional world of you. Tidak enaknya, unfortunately, we cannot teach them for you. We give you the opportunities in terms of what you are doing in courses. We give you opportunities to present. We give you opportunities to problem solve. We give you opportunities, but the one that actually have to do it is you. It's starting from you. We cannot give you interpersonal skills of talking to each other, because even though in class you have a group discussion, but the best discussion is coming from in canteen, in anywhere you want. You need to use this. You need to look at this as a way of learning things that we cannot give you a course on soft skill, even though it's already become in industry and it become, but we cannot learn you how to talk, how to conduct meeting. We cannot give you that. You have to experience by yourself. It's about you. So remember, Pak Hao said, you are smart. Yes, you are. In terms of academically smart. But personally, are you getting the best equipment, the best non-academic skills that you need to? Because that has not yet changed. Nobody asks, are you be able to do this? No, they always ask you, what can you do teamwork? Can you develop this? And so that's my opinion. So try to expand your learning on not just the one that we give you in courses.
Thank you, Prof. Next, Mr. Hariyanto.
Sorry, I don't quite get your whole questions, but I'm trying to understand from the explanations from the ladies and Prof. Ahmad. I think I just want to add one thing more. There is nothing that can teach you better than being in a crisis. Kalau udah kepepet, pasti jago lo. Seriously, being in a crisis will catalyze whatever problems you're having, and you have to come up with the solutions. But level of crisis of everybody is different. Some people will be overthinking that, hey, this is a big crisis. but some people have a high tolerance of crisis. Hey, this is simple. But the difference between those two are usually based on their knowledge and experience. The one who has experience before will see crisis and say, this is just another problem. But those who never have faced this kind of problem will see that, hey, this is a huge crisis. So you have to face a crisis. And what kind of crisis? It depends on you. I might be explaining this wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, the word in Chinese, crisis and opportunities, is actually one character colliding together. So between crisis and opportunities, they are always coinciding together. You have to take the opportunity first. You have to try to do something. You have to be able to start something, etc. And for you to be able to do that, you have to take risks. You have to take risks. It has a lot of courage in you so that you can take the risk. So if you want to become a good system thinkers, beside all the skills and knowledges that you already gain in the university or in the school, you have to take the opportunity. You have to have the courage to take the risk and face the crisis and come up with the solutions. And have faith in yourself with all the academic skills, talents that you have, that you can actually solve the problems and crises. Some people will become very good system thinkers, some mediocres or whatever, but hey, you will be system thinkers only if you solve the problems and face the crisis. Kayaknya gitu kali ya.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hariyanto. Please give a round to speakers for today. Okay, committee, do we still have time for one questions or no? Oh no, okay, I'm so sorry guys. So that concludes our Q&A session, and for summarizing our discussion for today, we have to adopt change maker mindset and also growth mindset in our life, and then know your purpose, and last but not least, start from why and solving problems with system thinking. And please again give warm round of applause to our speakers for today. Thank you so much, Ms. Maria, Ms. Devy, Prof. Akhmad, and Mr. Hariyanto. And thank you so much for all of participants here. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to sincerely thank you to our speakers for today, Prof. Ahmad, Mr. Hariyanto, Ms. Devy, and Ms. Maria. And thank you also to our participants for being such an attentive audience for today. And with that, our seminar session comes to a close, and I will now hand the stage back to our Master of Ceremony to guide us through the remainder of the ISEEC 2025 agenda. And thank you. Enjoy the rest of ISEEC 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all speakers and moderator for such an engaging discussion. But before we move on, don't forget to re-energize with Aqua, 100% pure water, 100% refreshing.
Next, we like to continue with the token of appreciation handover session. This is our way of expressing appreciation to our speakers and moderator for their valuable time and insights.
To begin, we'd like to invite our project officer of ISEEC 2025 to come up to the stage and give the token of appreciation to our honorable speakers and moderator.
Now, we would like to kindly invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Hariyanto Salim, to the stage to receive his token of appreciation. Once again, thank you, Mr. Salim.
Next, we would like to invite our first speaker, Prof. Akhmad, to receive his token of appreciation. Once again, thank you to Prof. Akhmad.
Continuing on, we would like to call our second speaker, Ms. Devy Yheanne, to please receive token of appreciation. Once again, thank you, Ms. Yheanne.
And now, we would like to invite our third speaker, Ms. Maria Trifanny, to receive a token of appreciation. Once again, thank you to Ms. Maria.
Lastly, we would like to invite our moderator to receive token of appreciation for leading today's insightful seminar and discussion. Thank you, Fayana.
Now that all token of appreciation has been presented, we kindly invite all the speakers and moderator and our project officer to stay on stage for a group photo session.
And now, may we kindly ask everyone on the stage to turn around and take a photo with the audience behind you.
For our honorable speakers and moderator, we kindly ask you to stand in front of your respective seats to take a photo session with the audience. We also kindly ask all the participants to move closer to the middle for the photo session. Once again, we ask all the participants to move closer to the middle for the photo session. Once again, we ask all the participants to move closer to the middle for the photo session.
Audience, please give your best smile and wave to the camera.
Okay, I'm going to do a countdown for the photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once again, 1, 2, 3. Maybe another pose. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much to our speakers, moderator, and project officer. You may now return to your seats.
And once again, please give a big round of applause for all of our honorable speakers and moderator for making this today's seminar truly meaningful.
Before we wrap up today's session, let's take a moment to relax and enjoy a special performance prepared by our talented participants. But before that, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors. Aqua from PT Tirta Investama, and PT Serasi Logistik by Astras Indonesia.
Now, please welcome our talent participant with a big round of applause.
Hello everyone. So now I will sing a song. Please enjoy. There are times I find it hard to sleep at night. We are living through such troubled times, and every child that reaches out for someone to hold, for one moment they're become my own. So how can I pretend that I don't know what's going on when every second and every minute another soul is gone? And I believe that in my life I will see, oh yeah, and into hopelessness or giving up or suffering. If we all stand together this one time, then no one will get left behind. Stand up for life. Stand up for love. I'm inspired and hopeful each and every day. That's how I know there are things that gonna change. So how can I pretend that I don't know what's going on when every second, when every minute another soul is gone? And I believe that in my life I will see, and into hopelessness or giving up or suffering. If we all stand together this one time, then no one will get left behind. Stand up for life. Stand up for love. And it all starts right here. And it starts right now. One person stand up then, and the rest will follow. For only forgotten, for only unknown, I'm gonna sing that in my life I will see, and into hopelessness or giving up or suffering. If we all stand together this one time, and no one will get left behind. Stand up and sing,
Wow, that was such an amazing performance from our talent participant, Devy and Yheanne. Thank you so much for our talent participant.
Absolutely, what a wonderful way to close today's event.
As we reach the end of today's event, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to all honorable speakers, to our participants, and especially our sponsors and collaborators who made this seminar possible.
And of course, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors, Aqua from PT Tirta Investama, PT Serasi Logistik by Astra, and the Silk at Dagu Boutique Hotel.
We would also like to thank ISEEC as our community partner. Thank you for your trust and contribution in making ISEEC 2025 a success. Today isn't just the start of ISEEC 2025. It's a moment to celebrate learning, innovation, and the power of systems thinking.
We hope today's seminar has given you new perspective and inspiration to keep growing and creating.
To make your ISEEC experience even more exciting, we've got something special for you.
That's right, we're having a company visit. It's your chance to see how things work in the real world and get some hands-on insights.
This time, we'll be heading to M Corp on Thursday, September 30th, 2025.
But here's the catch. The slots are limited and open only for today's seminar participants and industrial engineering students.
So, what are you waiting for? Sign up and let's make some unforgettable memories together.
Thank you for joining the 25th Annual ISEEC International Seminar 2025. We look forward to seeing you again at our next events. Good afternoon and have a wonderful day ahead.
Aqua, air mineral dalam kemasan pertama di Indonesia. Bersama